What's your favorite part about playing so close to home?
My family doesn't have to travel far, so it makes it easier on them.
This is the first year you guys are in the SEC, and there's been lots of conversations about this Big Ten SEC matchup. Do you guys feel pressure to get a win for that conference?
No, I didn't even know there was a thing going on about the SEC and the Big Ten. So, but as long as we, stay focused with us and on the opinions inside of, our walls, I think we'll be in a good spot.
When some people are calling this a revenge game for you against the Buckeyes, do you feel that at all or think that way at all?
I don't.
How are you managing ticket requests?
My mom handles all that, so just let her do all that. Yeah, CFO.
Hey, the touchdown pass against Arizona State, were you just in your element there? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, did things just kind of slow down? Explain what you felt there in such a clutch moment.
Yeah, going back to what I was saying earlier, it's just we practiced that same look against the same defense, same play. It all lined up how we did in practice, and I was able to see what they were doing and change the protection, get a max protection called, and Matt did the rest, and it was a cool moment.
Yeah, but the throw itself right on the money. You understand what I'm saying? You've got to be all in on that kind of play, right?
Yeah, we practiced it during the week, so it wasn't anything new.
Jake said prior to that protection, he saw the same thing, was about to turn around and tell you it, but you had already kind of made the call. How often is it where Jake himself or Hayden or someone up front turns around and says, all right, you've got this, and this, we got to kind of make that adjustment on the fly?
Yeah, I think Jake does a great job of seeing all what's coming, and it makes my job a whole lot easier whenever you got a veteran center like Jake to be able to see all the stuff that's going on in the back end. Helps me out for sure.
What have you sensed as a leader, just the excitement of the group for the opportunity in front of them?
Yeah, being in the CFP, this is the semifinal game, so it's definitely very special. We're all going to remember this for the rest of our lives. Being able to play the Cotton Bowl, against Ohio State, and these are just lifelong memories that we're experiencing.
How much does the fact that you guys have been here before, you've been in a CFP semifinal, how much does that give you, just some confidence and calm going into this matchup?
Yeah, no, it definitely helps because, you can't teach and you can't really coach experience. So for those guys that were in the locker room against Washington and, we understand, what the feeling is going to be. And I think that will allow us to have, a level of calmness within us.
What do you remember about the feeling after that Washington game?
Yeah, it wasn't very fun, that's for sure. But I knew this is exactly where we wanted to be. We wanted to be right back here where we are right now. I was going to do anything it took to get us back right here. I know all the leaders on that team thinking the same exact thing.
So how, gratifying is it that you were able to accomplish that?
It's definitely a good feeling, but it just feels like we're far from our final goal.
You've been in a spot like that for years. Are you tired of it at all?
I don't really pay attention to it, so I couldn't. When I was younger, maybe a little bit more, but as I've grown, I've come to fully understand that. I guess relying on what other people think of me won't get me anywhere, and it's not a healthy way to go about life. And I think my relationship with Jesus has helped me really fully understand that that's my reality. It doesn't matter what other people are saying about me. God has made me who I am, and that's the reality of the whole entire situation for me in my life.
When did you come to that realization?
Fully? Last year, because not my first year when I was here, but the first year we went to the CFP. I feel like that entire year and that off season was a big growing moment for me, and it kind of switched in my life to where I think I fully opened up my heart to what Jesus and God were telling me instead of relying on my own understanding. But I just wanted to fully give myself to Him and fully allow His will to be done in my life instead of trying to force certain things that just wouldn't fit.
So many of you guys are talking openly about that. Like Ohio State, almost the whole team talks openly about their relationship. with the Lord and stuff. Where's that confidence, that comfort come from?
Yeah, well, I think as athletes, you go through so many ups and downs. You have to have something to fall back on, and especially in this world. I mean, you cannot rely on what this world tells you about yourself, especially just because. I mean, this was the world who thought it was a good idea to kill a man who lived a perfect life and crucify him. So, I mean, you just can't rely on what the world tells you and who you are. But I mean, it's definitely super cool to see how everybody's talking about their relationship with God. And I see all the stuff that was going on at Ohio State with Trey and all those guys. Getting to see all that stuff has been super cool. I mean, I saw they hosted. I can't remember what it was, but I saw a bunch of people getting baptized on campus there, and I saw a bunch of students that were out there. I mean, that's just stuff that the game of football has allowed these people and these men to be able to do, which is it's just super cool to see stuff like that, them using their platform that way.
Was there a time in your career, a game, something where it clicked for you that like the outside noise just doesn't matter? Like does something come to mind?
I think it took time more than just a single moment. But going through my first year here, I was more for sure just wanting to know what people were saying about me and what I did that week or whatever it was. And then that season didn't go how we wanted it to, and I realized that something had to change, and I could just feel God telling me, it doesn't matter what these people are saying about you. I know who you are, and you know who you are, so just go rely on what I'm telling you.
Just a quick follow-up, the fact that you wanted to know what people were saying back early in your career, how much of that was, you've been under a microscope since you're 14 years old, social media, how much of it was that you wanted to know what people were saying?
Yeah, well, I think when things are going your way, it could be, it's a stretch for sure, but I mean, it feels good. And, it's like it's a desire that can be addicting for people. And, I think I fell into that at, a younger age, but I'm super glad that that's not who I am anymore.
Quinn, how'd you spend the trip up here?
Say it again?
How did you spend the time, the trip up here? What did you do?
I watched the last episode of Landman on the plane. I downloaded it. It's a great show, by the way.
What did you think?
It's a little odd, but I don't know that his wife seems a little bipolar, but I don't know how he handles it. But it's a good show overall. I like it. Cooper Norris seems to be coming on the come up with all his mineral rights, so I'm excited to see how that goes.
What did you think of the performance by Jerry Jones?
Oh, I thought he did a good job. I was surprised, honestly. He seemed like he knew what he was doing for sure. It was cool.
It's a really important question. You say you pay your mom a salary. If you guys win it all, does mama get a pay raise or?
I don't know. We'll have to talk about that for sure. We'll have a meeting or something.
Negotiate.
Figure it out. Who knows?
Everybody seems to have an opinion about your future. Where you go from here, NFL. How much of what you were talking about a while ago, coming to that realization last year, is kind of helping you as other people kind of speculate about you?
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, I think I'd be doing a disservice to my teammates about, me even thinking about what's next, because, what's right in front of us isn't over yet. And that's another thing that God has helped me so much through is just being present in every single moment that I'm in and, not looking too far ahead because I'll trip on what's right in front of me. So, again, that's too selfish of thinking for me to even be thinking about what's next for me.
Are you at least aware that there's a lot of speculation out there that people are going to throw huge numbers at you to go in the portal this season and that kind of stuff?
I mean, right now I'm just not worried about all that stuff. I mean, people can say all they want to say, but I'm just focused on Friday at this point in time.
Quinn, when's the last time you remember being nervous?
Nervous? I mean, I still get nervous for sure, but I just don't think – I think I do a good job of just understanding that moment, whatever moment it is that I'm nervous about, it doesn't define who I am as a person, and it doesn't define who I am in God's eyes. And understanding and knowing that has just kind of put like this force field of peace around me that I think allows me to be able to be calm in certain situations, but it doesn't. I still get nervous. I still get nervous.
What makes you nervous?
I mean, I just love the game so much, and if you don't get nervous or a little bit of butterflies, I don't think you have that same love. I mean, I've got butterflies since, going into football games since I was, 5, 6 years old. So I don't want that feeling to ever disappear or go away, because I'll know I just, football just doesn't mean as much as it did to me back then, and I want it to always mean that much to me.